So in today's video, I'm going to share with you how to draw this lovely swirly cherry blossom vine. So this is a design that I came up with last year, and I have drawn at least 3 variations of it since, using Inktense, marker pen and coloured pencil. But I thought today I would talk you through how to create your own cherry blossom vine. So I have compressed this video down with a little bit of time lapse, just to show you the basics, and hopefully it will be a springboard for you for your own designs. I'm drawing mine on A4 paper, but if you prefer, you can just draw a small portion of it. So to start the cherry blossom vine, we need to use a pencil to draw in some guidelines. I like to use a 4B pencil for this, as it's really soft and it doesn't indent the paper, and it's also easier to erase. So my lines are like 2 backward S shapes, and I'm leaving a space of about 1 inch at the edges of the page. And I'm going to use a small roll of washi tape to draw around, but you can use your circle stencil if you have one. I often do, but today I wanted to make this drawing a little bit more accessible without any special tools. So all I'm going to do is draw in some circles along our sweeping line. Now these will be our guidelines for the cherry blossom. So dot these around the central swirling line, about 1.5 to 2 inches apart, or 5 centimetres if you prefer. At the end of each line, I'm going to draw in a teardrop shape about 3 centimetres long, and please don't feel that you need to measure it exactly. Now I'm going to add the same teardrop shapes in between each of the circles, alternating the direction so that they will display nicely on the page. So straight in with the pen now. I'm drawing a small circle inside each of the pencil circles, just a few millimetres big, a small gap in the middle. Next I'm going to trace around each of the teardrop shapes. I like these little jewel shapes, but you can skip them if you prefer. For the blossom itself, I'm drawing 5 little dashes around the outside edge of the small circles. Then I'm bringing a line out from one of the dashes to the edge of the pencil circle, bring it around, put a little kink in the top, and then bring the line back down to the dash. As you're doing this, some of your petals will be larger than others. I quite like this effect as it makes them feel a little bit more natural, but if you wish you can draw these in pencil first and make them exactly the same size before going in with the pen. Do this on all of the pencil circles. Next we need to outline the petals. Slowly trace the outline a few millimetres from the edge of the petals. And again, repeat this process on each of the flower heads. So next I'm going to use my pencil to draw in the blossom buds. Look around the page to see where the gaps are and draw a downward arch from the main central line. And then kind of add like a lampshade shape on the bottom. It's not really very clear to see on this video, so I'll just show you a photograph because it's a bit clearer. We just need rough outlines at this stage. So now we've got our rough location, we can draw the flower heads on the buds. I like to start with a small semicircle under which I add a curved off thin line which extends out from the semicircle just a few millimeters. A curved line down from this on the left and a curved line down on the right. You can make these curves as deep or as shallow as you like, but do try to keep them even. Join these together with 3 little scallops. And then inline the 3 sections in the middle. These sections are small and it can be a little bit fiddly, but stick with it, it's worth it. Work your way around the page, add in all of the little buds. So for the next part, we're going to outline those teardrop shapes. We only want to go around the outer portion and leave a gap of about 2 millimeters at the point of the teardrop. And do this on all of the teardrop shapes. The reason we're leaving a gap is because we want to draw out the central stem or the vine from here. So to draw in the central stem, follow your pencil line and draw one line to the first obstacle. In this case, it's a blossom head. And go back and trace the other side of the stem. And this is where our pencil lines really come in handy. Do the same in the next section. The teardrop point should sit on the stem. Draw out the first line, the second line, and then the third. In this next section we have a bud, so I'm going to draw the line from the bud to the central stem and back. Continue working your way around the drawing, and if it helps, draw in the bud stems first, and that way you won't accidentally miss one out. Once this is done, we need to think about all of the other leaves on the vine. Again, with your 4B pencil, draw 2 leaves starting either side of the teardrop shapes. You can overlap with the pencil if you need to. Then work your way along the stem, drawing in pairs of leaves every inch or so along the main stem. Now some of these pencil leaves will overlap, that's okay, and that's what will give the final result more interest. And some you may wish to be a little bit more creative with, but do try to keep them the same size. So your page is going to look very busy and very messy, but it is only pencil and we will erase it later. Now to draw in those leaves with our pen. Now this can be a little bit confusing, so do take your time. Start with drawing in the leaves attached to those teardrop shapes. This will form our main pattern, and the other leaves can just sit behind these main ones. These leaves won't be outlined, but rather they'll complement our main design. On this section, the main leaf is sitting behind the stem, so be careful only to ink in the section behind the stem and not to ink in over the stem, otherwise we'll get an overlap. And this drawing is partly about learning how to layer up as well, so if you do make a mistake, don't be too hard on yourself. Once those leaves are all in place, we can move on to those additional leaves. Just work your way around the vine. Some leaves will be complete and some will just be partial. Some of them will just peep out of the side of the flower heads, and others may overlap or underlap the main features of the drawing. But if you work your way methodically around the page, figuring out the overlap areas should be straightforward. Just take your time, and if you make a mistake, just carry on anyway. Practice makes perfect. So lastly, for the illustration part, we're going to add in some berries. Now work your way around the main stem, looking for gaps where you can draw in a line and just add that little berry. I usually like to start from the base of the leaf, but sometimes you'll have to be a little bit more creative about it. Just pop them in where there's an obvious gap. Once your ink is completely dry, you can erase out all your pencil lines and start to add in the colour. You can use whichever art mediums you're comfortable with. I'm on a mission to get better with using colouring pencils, so that's what I'm going to do today. I'm also going to be using a white colouring pencil, as I've heard that that can really help with the blending. So I will share what I've learnt so far, but if you have any additional hints or tips, then do leave them in the comments below. I've been using colouring pencils for less than a year, and I've only really been trying hard with them for the last 6 months. So a good tip is to keep your coloured pencils sharp. We need a proper nice good point on those. Starting on the teardrops, which are going to be pink, we start with a really light pressure, little circles, and fill in the entire teardrop colour with a very light shade. And then taking a slightly darker pink, I'm just going to work the edges of the teardrop shape. I'm trying to achieve a faded effect, and I want the edges of the teardrop to be darker with a lighter spot in the middle. So I'm gradually increasing my pressure, building up the colour really slowly. Now one thing I have learned is that colouring pencils take a lot of time and a lot of work and a lot of patience, but I find it incredibly meditative to do. Try to get the pencil right up to the pen line, because any small gaps will really show up. I'm just circling around, I'm just continuing to circle around with teeny tiny circles, just building up that colour. So I am using a mixed media paper here today, as I had heard that it gives a much better finish, and actually it really does. The paper is really quite hard and very smooth compared to cartridge paper, and you don't get those kind of little gaps showing. So next I'm going in with the white pencil in little circles, just going around and around. And you know what, it really does help with the blending, and if you can't really tell on camera right now, I would recommend investing in a white pencil and trying it yourself. So I'm not going to show you the whole drawing process here, but for the leaves we're going to work on a similar principle. Start with a really light green and very lightly go it over the whole of the leaf shape. Take a darker colour and work the edges. Now we do have to think a little bit about shadow here, and that's something which I'm still learning as well, but I'm working on the principle today that the edges will be a little bit darker and the tops and middle a little bit lighter. It's not very technical, I know, but that's what I'm working with. And if you're a beginner, this is a really good approach. Take it slowly, take it simply. Now with the darkest pencil, I'm really going in on the inner point and the underside of the jewel, and a little bit lighter around the edges. This does take practice, and thankfully we have a lot of leaves to practice with. So if you're learning colouring pencils, this is a great one to try it out on, because if you don't get it right on the first one, you can try a bit harder on the next one. Hopefully you can start to see how the colour is building up around the edges and how I'm trying to build up a soft blend of colour. Just remember to get right up to the black line and press a little bit harder as you work. Notice any gaps or hard blends and just try and soften them up a little bit. Then go in with the white pencil and blend away as you go. I find that the white pencil takes off the hardness of the colour. It's actually quite hard to explain. So the blossom and the buds. The bud area is so small that I'm just plopping the colour straight in. It's a little darker at the top, but overall the colour of the whole bud should be darker as they haven't yet bloomed. For the blossom, it's the same process. The lighter pink first, a very soft light coverage, going in with a slightly darker pink and working this around the sides and the inside edge of the petal, and then we go in with a darker pink. So what I've learnt so far is never just use one flat colour. You'll get a much better result with 2 or more colours. Work slowly, build up the colour slowly, and then go in with a white pencil, just softly with little round circles. Building up a picture with coloured pencil takes time, but can be hugely rewarding. I'm finishing this one off with just a little sparkle in those little buds. I'm using a pink zebra doodlers here. And there you go. So I hope that you've enjoyed learning how to do cherry blossom. I love the cherry blossom very much and it's one of my go-to things, and I've drawn it a lot. And you can do it in different colours and different forms, and yeah, however you like really. So I hope that you found this tutorial useful. Do give me a thumbs up if you've made it this far. Your support genuinely means an awful lot to me, and I hope to catch up with you again soon.